You can also visit my website at www.fightbacklegalabuse.com for more information. So order your copy today and empower yourself with the knowledge before injustices come knocking on your back door unexpectedly.
My name is Dr. Eric Norman. I have studied vitamin B12 deficiency for over 35 years. I have developed the urinary MMA test to detect tissue B12 deficiency early, allowing treatment and prevention of permanent disability. B12 deficiency can cause anemia, but also neurologic problems such as spinal cord degeneration, paranoia, and dementia. B12 is found only in animal sources, so vegetarians become deficient. As people age, they may not produce enough stomach acid or intrinsic factor protein for absorption of B12 and become deficient. Up to 10% of seniors may have a normal serum B12 level, but a tissue B12 deficiency, causing a 3 times greater risk for heart attack, stroke, or Alzheimer's. For more information, visit b12.com.
Thank you for tuning in to Freedomizer Radio, where we have a 24/7 chat room where you can come and share what's going on in the world with people of like mind. Anything and everything against the New World Order. Dial 347-324-3704 to catch our live shows. Beginning at 9 in the morning Pacific Standard Time, Monday through Friday till midnight, and 9 to 9 on Saturday and Sunday. Take us to the beach. Take us to the park. Take us on a walk with the dog. Only on Freedomizer Radio.
Alright everybody, this is Thrice with Thrice's Daily Download. We are back from commercial. Again folks, bear with me, it's a little choppy here. I'm getting the hang of this, but we are moving forward. We will truck this train, or we will ride this train, whatever you want to say. I like trucking trains, it's fun. Alright, so segments, we're going to start off with our American Land of the Economic Slave segment. Get into more of that Burger King conversation. Boycott for Burger King. This is something going on, representative of our lovely government system decided to talk about and bring up and try to push for people to do, to boycott, because Burger King is going overseas, not even across the line to Canada, the other America. So basically, we've got this problem where Burger King is leaving us. Hey folks, sorry again, I do apologize for these minor issues we are facing. Trying to get them fixed here. Moving forward though, not going to slow down. With the boycotting of Burger King, I just think it's ridiculous, like I said, and I already said about McDonald's and going to China, and I say that because they had allegations about having meat that wasn't all cow, and they refused to actually look into it, and they refused to even talk about it. I think that's definitely a big issue when we're talking about that kind of companies, those kind of companies who don't really care about us, guys. They just don't really care about us. All right, moving on. I'm going to talk about how one of the reasons, when we talk about being an economic slave, being hoodwinked about these articles about Burger King leaving us and whether it's important or not, we're not thinking about the relevant issue, guys. That's not relevant at all. Relevant issue is the fact that we have two countries that have legalized an herb, a medicinal herb that has been used for thousands of years, and their economy is growing because of it. Jobs are being created and things are happening. But it's weird because when countries usually pass these kind of laws, things change around the whole country. But here, we only have 2 states and a couple other ones that have medicinal. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm talking about the lovely herb that everybody talks about and debates over nowadays is cannabis. And I'm not talking pro or con. I'm just stating it's very interesting how we state that we're free, yet we're a country that has states that have legalized something and the rest of us don't have access to it. So that's just an interesting thing to think about when it comes to the fact that we want Burger King and McDonald's nationwide, but we don't want this thing called marijuana, which is an ancient substance that has been used in cultures for thousands of years. I've said that before, I'll say it again, thousands of years. McDonald's has been around for how long? So, just fun facts, guys. So we're going to go into religion and sciences revealed. This is a second segment here. We're going to discuss what's going on in these different aspects of mystery schools. A lot of people say mystery religion, but the reality is they're not a mystery religious school. It's a mystery school. That's it, guys. Religion really has nothing to do with it. The only thing it has to do with it is you usually have to have some kind of religion, which is just your relationship with the source or the all. And when you have that, you're allowed to be into these things. That's what it teaches, that there's these deeper meanings to life. There's more going on and more that's available to all of us, not just the individuals in the groups, to everybody in the entire world. That is a very interesting thing, because when you get these people who talk about these higher ranking Illuminati or these organizations of Freemasons and groups who are destroying the world, it's not groups, people. And I've said this before, and I've only been on here a couple of days. I'm trying not to beat this too bad, but it's individuals, and we're going to try to show you that. If anybody's listening out there who's in an order, I ask you to call in right now. There is a live number, 347-324-3704. I think I've got everything with the audio done and figured out. We should be good. It should be sounding okay. If not, feel free to call in. Help me out there. Let me know what's going on and how I sound. So, moving in, first we're going to discuss Freemason history. A lot of people, they talk about Freemasons and how they were part of the American history, but it's always in this negative connotation with this Illuminati agenda, and it's really sad, because when you have this negative connotation towards an organization that's larger than just a handful of people, you can't say they're all a certain way. And there are definitely only a handful of people in this world who are really controlling all this and making it horrible. And we all know that. If you're into, the truth and you're into seeking freedom, you understand that there are individuals who are causing these problems. But we give them titles, and I think it's not right, because we could be harming some of the greatest things that may be given to us. Because I'm a firm believer in the ancient studies. Christianity is riddled with them, and I'm a firm believer in Christ. And there are people who believe in Christ who understand the ancient teachings and incorporate it. And that's kind of where Freemasonry seems to really come from, is this generation that came after Christ's death. As we know, George Washington is a huge name that is used. You have Thomas Jefferson was part of different organizations, as well as many other people who were involved in signing of the Declaration. I think there was 12 Masons involved in the Declaration of the Independence signing. And so that's just where it shows you that these men And Thomas Jefferson said he didn't believe in the banking system. You know, I mean, a lot of these men fought for freedom. So how can you say that these Masons were gentlemen who believed in, you know, this agenda of New World Order and corruption and, you know, just horrible things that everybody tries to blame them for? I think it's amazing. So basically, there's a big thing here's a little secret that a lot of people don't know about. There's a Prince Hall Lodge and a Blue Lodge, and they're actually different. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail, but they are different. They are recognized differently. Even though they're both Masons and have the same style of teachings, they're different. And that is a perfect example of how the misinformation leads you to not understand what is really going on in these organizations. So with Freemason history, they originally come off of the name Mason. So a stone Mason, which in the craft we call operative Mason, and we are speculative Masons. I'm actually an operative and a speculative Mason, and those still exist nowadays. But with the operative Mason side comes this concept of geometry. Now, Pythagoras, back in the day, was a huge proponent of geometry. He promoted the idea of sound and vibrations and mathematics and how they are all intertwined. And through the study of these, you can learn so much about the world and your own life. Because with the world, it is only a reflection of who you are. And in quantum physics and metaphysics, they're beginning to show that. In science nowadays, and by the way, when I say nowadays, quantum physics has been around since before Albert Einstein. That is actually what he studied, but we don't really acknowledge that until you get into college, which I think is a very interesting thing of how we don't consider what quantum physics is on an everyday basis. Because these concepts of relativity, of interdimensionality, they're persistent every day. I mean, just let's step away from those and go into vibrations. So Freemasonry, in the history of what it is the aspects of vibrations and geometrical patterns and what those vibrations mean, like the square, the compasses, the common gavel. Those things were used in order to form and shape stones into dimensional objects using this geometry. So in the essence of forming perfection out of stone, we take the tools and working craft to represent how we form ourselves into the perfection of the stone. And the stone builder is our version of God. And that's a very interesting thing right there, because that has nothing to do with indoctrinating you into a religion or into a doctrine. It actually has more to do with taking your already established doctrine and improving upon it and allowing you to grow in it without being judged. Because here's a secret, well, not really a secret, we don't really talk about religion and politics at the lodge. You're not supposed to. It's out of respect. It's not a secret. It's not some big thing. It's out of respect, and that's what any Mason will tell you. Like, no, we don't discuss those things. We work on Freemason work, which is work to make men better. I'm honestly, I'm only an EA, guys. If there's any masters out there, or any other craft out there that want to call in, I'd appreciate it. I'm still learning, and I've been in EA for a while, and the reason is because of this fear, because of this blurring of the truth. Somebody one day chose to use these names and smear them. And that's the reality, because there were people who were horrible that are in these organizations. It's not the organizations, folks. So that's a little bit about Freemasonry. It's a very cut and dry. It's more brotherly love. That's what Freemasonry is about. And yes, women deserve that as well, and that's why they've come out with the OES, the OES Daughters of the Eastern Star. That is a beautiful organization for women to get involved in the same kind of principles that Masonry teaches you. And it's wonderful, folks. These lodges have dinners every month. They give to the community, both the male and female lodges of Masonry. They give all the time. And that's all they're about. They're philanthropists. And it's just about, really, it teaches, the great thing about it when you're a young man is you can see how it teaches you how to be organized, how to work with others, get along, and get things done. That's really it. And yeah, there's groups out there,